Well, hi, I'm Sam Brown, sometimes known as Hale Sam Brown. Uh, I'm here at Midwest Skydiving for the Old Time Skydivers reunion, and what a great time we had. This is kind of the end of it, and it's been a great thing. It's September 1st, Labor Day, 2014, and so today's a little cloudy, so they kind of quit today, but it's been a great time. Seen a lot of guys I hadn't seen in years and heard a lot of stories, some of which I remembered, some I didn't, and heard new ones. So it was really neat, and I'm glad people were able to put it on here and have a good time. Basically, I started jumping in 1970 and really got into it. I was basically, you can't be a superhero when your sister does something before you. And my sister was the first one in the family to jump, so that's always been a thing to keep me calm down a little bit, I guess, if somebody tries to think you're a hero. Anyways, today more of my story is about this helmet. I jumped with the Rainbow Flyers, and we won the Nationals a few years in four-way, and the biggest parts were the back loop formation things. The third year, when they switched to sequential, we had a guy that was a friend of ours, or a friend of wanted to make a movie of us that year, our campaign, and so we had he was out filming at the drop zone, and we needed air shots, so Steve Brody borrowed this helmet from Jerry Bailey, who had owned it and had the 16 millimeter gun camera attached for filming. So they had to go in a bag, a dark bag, put the film in the camera, and get it all ready, put it on, and go up, and we'd make some jumps, and he was trying to film. As you can see, there's this limb stuck in this helmet. And what happened on this particular jump was Steve was filming us. We came to opening altitude. He pulled his ripcord. We were all ripcords then, and must be something caught on the camera, and it snapped his head, and he knocked him out. So he had a malfunction, but he was unconscious. And when he came to, he saw he had a malfunction, but didn't realize how low he was. Didn't know that the time had passed, and so he cut away, maybe 500 feet, and had a slow deployment, didn't go out, the pilot chute burbled or something, and so there he was at the trees, and he said he might hit him and rolled over because his back looked like he'd been beat with baseball bats, because as you can see, a poplar tree, so it was actually softer wood, and the one limb at one point, as you can see, went in under his helmet, and he had a leather hat on at the same time, and it went in under the leather hat and ripped the hat, which I had loaned that one to him, and took the thing off, and he turned over and fell on it was a swampy area, fortunately, hit the mud, and was just there. So people that saw it happen went running out in the woods, try to find him. We're walking around, couldn't find him. At one point, one of the Don Carpenter's wife was a nurse, so she was out there looking, and they heard a groan and heard a sucking sound, and he was under that pile of limbs, so they couldn't find him. So he pulled his head out of the mud, making a sucking sound, and rolled over and moaned, and they went over, "Steve, are you all right?" And he's basically, he was really dazed. But when I got there, they were hauling him out, and I thought, man, we're going to be hauling a body out of here. And they were carrying him out, and I said, "Steve, how you doing?" He said, "I think I'm okay." And obviously he's beat up real bad, but it was just one of those deals that things happened just right for him to survive. And one of the more continuing irony of the situation was we took him back, set him in they had a big easy chair, sort of like this one, out behind the clubhouse. He's sitting in it. He had the leather hat was still around his neck, because it ripped it off and had just gone down, and he took it off and gave it to me. And later, when I went and visited him in the hospital, you can have this. And at any rate, he did get better and jumped some later and tapered off. I guess one of the other thing is it took him longer to survive, to recuperate from the surgery. They thought for sure his spleen had burst, and he was bleeding inside. And when they opened him up, it wasn't there. So, as best we can tell, had we just kept him there, had him rest, feed him, give him painkillers, he would have been all right. But he obviously didn't know that, and they were really worried about his spleen being burst, and that, of course, you can bleed to death in 20 minutes or half hour if that happens. So that's what they had to do. The other irony of the situation is Steve Brody is the first guy that ever jumped off the Brooklyn Bridge and lived. So he was famous at some point for that. So that was always kind of a sidelight to the thing. Like I say, Steve got another 15, 20 years of life when he felt he probably was just lucky to be there. And it was certainly an interesting experience for us. The film got used in the movie, which we got it on 3/4-inch videotape thing. And I've got that. I think it's been converted to disc, but I know I have I found the actual original 3/4-inch because they were working in a big studio, so they made it in that first thing. So I'm gonna get that. I'll get that to make sure that it goes somewhere in there. It can be seen with this. And the unfortunate thing was we didn't win that year. We lost, but hey, it was the guy got his doctorate or master's or whatever it was for the film, and yeah, we always at least had a good feeling that Steve made it. So it was a pretty interesting trip, and this is being donated by Jerry Bailey via me, and that's because he gave it to me. So you know the story, you were there better. So I hope I told a decent story of it, and hope you enjoy, and clear skies, and we'll see you all later.